Hey, what's going on, everybody? Huvvi186 back again with another video. Again, I don't have a microphone, so I'm just doing this straight to the phone. Um, this is gonna be Huvvi's Hot Takes, episode 3, and we're going to discuss pretty much what is it called? The Video Game Awards and PSX. And I'm not gonna get too deep into it because at least with the Video Game Awards, because that's pretty much what, like 4 or 5 days ago. Um, I won't get too deep into it, but I'll just kind of discuss some talking points coming out of the show, and I'll kind of talk about PSX and my thoughts on that too. So first thing first, the Video Game Awards, Jeff Keighley. I know everyone kind of gave him shit for his kind of oogling on Kojima. Obviously everyone knows what happened with Kojima last year. He was supposed to be there to get some award. Had a situation with Konami that kind of prevented him from going there, but he was there this year. He got his award. So, and Jeff Keighley got what he wanted. So it was I was happy for Jeff Keighley. I never seen that dude so happy in my life. So good for him, man. If he's happy, let that man be happy. Um, there was just a little bit of controversy regarding one award that was won by a guy. I don't know his name, and I know he made a game kind of related to his son who died of cancer. His 5-year-old son who died of cancer, and two dickheads from the big gamer small talk community kind of mocked him in different ways. One guy, we'll call him Mooch. I couldn't think of a nickname for him, but Mooch essentially was mocking him for crying and shit like that, kind of saying, "Oh, this year's Sean Murray" and bullshit like that. Now apparently he deleted the tweet and apologized. He said that he didn't know the game was he didn't know that the game was about his son and all that other stuff. But here's the deal, right? And I can buy into that. You know what I mean? I can buy into, probably didn't mean to make fun of him and everything like that. But look, who what type of human being looks at a guy who gets an award, who starts crying on stage, and that dude, his first reaction is to make fun of the dude. That's his very first reaction. It's not about, it's not really like comprehending what he's about, like what this all about. It's not about, oh, being like, he's very emotional, like we know these guys in the industry, they put their heart and souls into these games, regardless of whether or not these games are good or bad or whatever, or mediocre, what have you. We know these people, they put their hearts and soul into it, and they seemingly get a shit ton of blame and not enough credit. And your first reaction is to sit there and make fun of the dude for crying, and regardless of the reason, that's your first reaction of making fun of him. That shows how much of an awful human being you are. Now the second guy, Crap Gamer, he said, he called it depressing, lame, and bullshit like that. About the dude in the cancer game, and how he couldn't really get into you know he kind of mocked him, saying that oh, the last thing I want to do playing a video game is worrying about the dude in cancer and bullshit like that. And I can understand it to an extent, but the one thing that he probably don't know is that there are actually quite a few games that are created, that are made, that are based off of events like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know them. I don't know. I've listened to podcasts where they've talked about games. I remember there was this one game that was created. It was an indie game. Excuse me. That was made because it was based off of his. It was kind of like a weird type of a game. I forgot what it's called, but it was kind of like a synopsis of what he dealt with as a kid dealing with child abuse. And he made a game, and he kind of made a game out of that. So, you know, the games are made or inspired by events for some of these developers, and if you're an actual gamer, unlike him, you would have known that. So regardless, that's that's I just wanted to address that real quick because I saw it was a big thing going on Twitter. A lot of people, calling these frauds out, and yeah, I saw this one dude, um, pretty much trying to damage control, saying that it was hacked and shit like that, and I'm like, fucking, these fucking fanboys, man. Like you had several awards. I know Street Fighter 5 won Best Fighter. I know that was a bit controversial for that, and I can understand that to an extent because the game launched broken, and to me it's for me is weird because like I said before, like I don't like it when especially a company like Capcom who knows better. I don't like the fact that that company gets rewarded for releasing half a game. But with that said, it was still the best fighter that came out this year, in my opinion. Obviously I have King of Fighters 14. It's a great fighting game. I don't believe that fucking DLC should be nominated, so I wasn't gonna vote for Killer Instinct. Um, what was the other fighting game that was available? I can't remember the other one. Um, but regardless, Street Fighter 5 to me was the best fighting game still to come out this year. So on that note, it is what it is. It's a war, so who the fuck cares, right? Um, you know, Overwatch won Game of the Year. It won over Doom, Uncharted, yada yada yada. This is that. And the thing is that look, I don't give a shit about Overwatch, but the thing is that that game is a very popular game. It has a very very active community, and at the end of the day, it won. Like it is what it is. But the thing that I'm trying to understand that there's some people who who said that the game didn't deserve to win Game of the Year because it didn't have a single player mode. That didn't have yeah, it didn't have single player. And to me, I don't like the fact that some games have to have this and that in order to be considered a Game of the Year contender. I don't like that notion because what it does is it kind of like pigeonholes these games and be like, oh well, just because you're this and that, you can't win Game of the Year. It offends me. Actually, that's a bit of a strong word. I'm not offended. But it is weird to hear gamers, say that when, in my opinion, just because a game has a story, just because the game has this and that, and that doesn't mean it should automatically be Game of the Year. It should, and if a game doesn't have that, that doesn't mean that it can't be Game of the Year. Like a game like Forza Horizon 3, for example. I have that game. The game's fucking incredible. I'll talk about that in another video. But if that game was nominated for Game of the Year, I would have no problem with it. Absolutely no problem with it because the game, what it does well, it does very very well. Same thing with a game a couple years ago when Mortal Kombat 9 came out, when the remake Mortal Kombat 9 came out. Granted it had a very good story. It wasn't the main focus. The main focus was the fighting, but it had a very good story. And if people would have nominated that as Game of the Year, I would have had no problem with that because it was a great fighting game for one. Like granted, it did have a great story and tied into it, but I would have had no problem with it. Like if they wanted to nominate a game like Smash Brothers or Mario Kart or Rocket League or hell, even a sports game like MLB The Show, Madden, if Madden was really that good, any type of game, if they want to nominate that Game of the Year, I would have no problem with it because I'm not interested in putting restrictions into what makes a Game of the Year. You know what I mean? If a game has a great story and the game is great, like and if it wants to be considered Game of the Year, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm okay with games like Uncharted, like a game like Gears, any game that is a traditional, Game of the Year type of game. I don't have a problem with that being nominated. I also don't have a problem with just any game being being named Game of the Year as long as the game is really really good and it excels at what it does, what it's supposed to do. So I don't like the fact that these some of these games are have to be pigeonholed. It's the same thing with the Academy Awards and shit like that. Like you see these movies that are fucking they're I'm not saying these are bad movies, but these normally it's the movies that are movies where they're like 2.5 hour melodramas where the actor has to like fucking lose 100 pounds and has to kind of like be you know has to really live that role in his everyday life. You know what I mean? Like I don't like me personally. I don't think that movie should automatically be movie of the should be nominated as movie of the year just because it's just because of that. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't have to be the this depressing fucking 2.5 hour movie. If it's a comedy that's really that good, I think it should be nominated for Academy Award. You know, that's just my opinion. Um, yeah. So enough of PSX. Overall, I didn't see the whole show. I thought the show from what I saw was fine. They had a couple of performances and stuff like that, which some of it was cool. Like Killer Mike was cool. The other stuff I didn't really care for. But I didn't think the show was bad. I think that it's gotten progressively better over the past few years. So that's a good thing. Um, what else was there? And the game premieres. Most of the game I didn't give a shit about. I was somewhat impressed by the new Zelda game. Visually, the game didn't seem to run very well, but I'm not worried about that. I'm sure it's still in development, so I'm sure that will get better. The way they did the demo though, with the two guys playing the game, that's fucking lame. I don't know why Nintendo keeps doing stuff like that. It's so stupid. But overall, that was my opinions of the video game award. Now PSX was Saturday. I didn't get to watch it live because I was still sleeping. I work overnight, but I did catch the showcase. It was a great show. Like definitely, tons of different games that are coming out. Tons of different types of games that they showcase. First party, and third party. So I was impressed by it. I woke up to a whole bunch of trailers, and I saw the MLB 17 gameplay trailer. That shit looked nice. I love that commercial. It definitely. I think the main focus. Well, the one thing is that they're showing that you can make choices, and I believe that's gonna be for Road to the Show. In their Road to the Show mode, that you'll be able to make choices and stuff like that. At least that would seem to me. I'm basing this off of strictly the trailer. Based on the gameplay, definitely I think they've done some stuff with the lighting. I'm sure that was some of that stuff was PS4 Pro gameplay. The character models seem the same, but their character models are top notch. But the one thing that I did notice is that they seem to put a little bit more flair into the characters, so into the ball players. So the ball players are doing more celebrating, being a little seemingly being more exuberant, I think that's cool. And I think I don't know this for a fact, but maybe some of that may be influenced by late Marlins pitcher Jose Fernandez. He died in a tragic boat accident a few months ago, and the way that Jose lived his life and played the game, he played with a flair and a passion for the game, always smiling, looked like he was having fun. So maybe I don't know about this for sure, but hopefully, that was some of the celebrating that they had the ball players do in the gameplay. Maybe that was hopefully Jose was some influence for that. And then they also showed, obviously Ken Griffey is the cover athlete for the game, and near the end they showed a little bit of they hinted at maybe an old school Ken Griffey mode where you get to play the old school Ken Griffey Jr. game, but obviously with the new stadiums and stuff like that. But it looked like you could still You like you just play like an old school mode or whatever. So I'm interested to see what they go there. I'm definitely going to be buying this, so I'm looking forward to that. They showed the Gran Turismo trailer. That looked hot. Definitely getting the game is progressing nicely from what I see as far as the visuals go. Cause the original trailer, I didn't think the graphics looked that amazing, and driving like, Gran Turismo was always kind of like that gold standard for like driving games as far as visuals go. And yeah, I thought this trailer looked more like that standard, that the gold standard. That what it looked like to me. So that was cool with that. And they show, obviously they highlighted the show started with the announcement of the Uncharted DLC, the Lost Legacy. It showed Chloe and Nadine, so definitely going to be picking that up. Some other announcement that they had with some stuff. It was a little bit of something for everybody. They had the new game from Housemark. I don't know the name of it, but I think it's something Death Machine, something Marcana Death Machine or whatever. That game looked like that game would kick your ass. So if I get a chance, I want to try that game out. And the game and the conference ended with The Last of Us Part Two. Um, at some point, I gotta get to play. I gotta play part one. It's one of the biggest regrets that I have as a gamer. I haven't played the first one. Even though, granted, the first one isn't really my cup of tea. Um, the multiplayer is. So I definitely want to pick that up before, sometime before the new one comes out. So, overall, I thought it was a great show. Much better than last year. Much better than last year. And that's pretty much it. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like I have some more videos down the pipeline. See if I can try to do one. I'm gonna try to do a video, an Xbox One video on Sunday, since I'm off Saturday, but I got stuff to do with friends. Um, so look forward to that. Anyway, this is Huvvi 186. I am out. Peace.